Today on my Instagram, I made a reel around how for so many years I used to put all of my energy into external validation and what other people thought of me and what my body looked like. And I was just constantly searching for the answers outside of me. Like, I really based so much of my worth, my happiness, my confidence, who I was on external factors. And I have been speaking more and more to the concept of energy, and specifically, where our energy is going in terms of our thoughts and our actions and where we're placing our attention and how energy flows through our lives. And today, when I made that reel, it really made me reflect on how much, especially as women, we give our energy away so often. And our energy really is our power. And when I think about the way that our energy is utilized in where our thoughts are going and what we're focused on and where our attention is going and flowing outwards, we also have to take into account, like, not only are we giving up our energy when we're focused on maybe negative things, or we're dwelling, or we're complaining, or we're in this victim mindset, like we're totally just giving our power and our energy away. But the same goes for when we are using or desiring external factors to then basically give us permission to feel a certain way, or to be a certain person, or to have a certain life. Because for me, in my life, in my journey, I used to be a bodybuilder, and I did a lot of bodybuilding competitions. I was a bikini competitor. So for 4 to 5 years of my life in my early 20s, from ages like 19 to 23, 24-ish, my whole entire life was revolved around what I looked like. Everything was external, what people think of my body, judging my body when I'm on stage, how I look for a photo shoot, what supplement companies think about my body, and how that directly relates to me getting sponsored, or me having a photo shoot booked, or certain opportunities in that whole fitness industry, which that's a whole nother discussion for another day, what I experienced in that industry and in that time of my life. But it just reminded me of how many years I spent in that mental prison of really believing that my worth and everything that I desired had to come from everything external. When in reality, like, I was the only one who could give myself that. But I didn't know that at the time. I really was so confused, because although I had all these external things coming in, like photo shoots and bodybuilding competitions and opportunities because of what I looked like, which, in a sense, like, yes, they were like really cool opportunities to experience, but it just continuously reinforced that my body is the most interesting thing about me, and I have to like earn this kind of fulfillment and happiness and contentment. What I realized was that I was always so insecure, so empty, so unfulfilled, so just like, it's never enough. I never felt like enough, and I never felt like anything I had was enough, because I was constantly giving my energy away. I was constantly looking outside of myself for these external things to fill the void, to make me happy, to make me feel the way that I desired feeling. And it never actually brought me true confidence. And this is why, like, the body image topic is really so not only relevant, but dear to my heart, because I experienced that firsthand of really believing, okay, my body's the most important thing about me. I need other people to like me because of how my body looks. This is like all I'm good for. And then to top it off, I was also a coach at that time, a fitness coach. And so in my mind, I'm like, I have to look a certain way to be credible. And if you're also a coach in some way, shape, or form here, you might relate to that. I know a lot of coaches and individuals in the health, wellness, fitness industry. It's almost like this societal pressure of like, if you don't look a certain way, who's going to want to work with you? But that is such BS. It's BS in every single facet of life. It shouldn't be how people perceive you. It shouldn't be what kind of approval someone else is giving you, because no one can give you that permission slip to finally be like, oh, now I can feel happy and worthy and confident and abundant. Like, it's never going to come from an external source. So in making that reel today, which you can go to my IG, it's in the description below if you want to watch it. It was just like a really vulnerable and raw share for me, and I'm so glad I had that reflection today, because it really made me realize how much this journey that I'm on towards more self-awareness and consciousness and basically just waking up in my own life and taking back my power, how much everything we desire, and I've talked about this before on this channel, everything we desire comes from within. The outside cannot change until the inside first changes. And for so many of us, we're giving away our power by seeking the external validation, having someone else's approval, looking a certain way, like all these things, basically waiting for outside events to finally, okay, now I can feel this way. It's never going to work, because every single milestone, every single achievement or goal that I reached in that period of my life, it never felt like it was enough. I was always like, okay, well, what's next? What's the next thing I need to do? What's the next, like, I had the blinders on, and I was so not present in my life. I was so unhappy. I was so unfulfilled. I had no sense of inner peace. I was just chaos internally, because not only was I distracting myself from what was actually trying to come up and out, which was just my own being like, hey, we just need you to hold space for us here. But I never gave myself a chance to sit with myself. I had a really hard time being in my own company. I never slowed down. I was always go, go, go. Didn't do any type of practice in regards to like meditation or stillness or breathing or like connecting back to myself and nature and all these concepts that I'm so involved in now because I know the power of them. It essentially just comes back to how can we reclaim our power and our energy and build a life from the inside out, because that is truly the only way we're going to create a lifestyle that we love, is when we connect to ourselves and we can then create the reality from how we feel internally. I say as women because a lot of us as women, we are seeking that external validation. It's not that it's our fault. You don't have to judge yourself. It's nothing to be ashamed of or like mad at yourself for, because a lot of us are just conditioned in this way. The male attention, we want to look pretty for people. We want other people to like us. It's just all so conditioned into us. So once you wake up to this and you take back your power and you're like, what would happen if I started to live for myself? What would happen if I started to focus on my own fulfillment and what I'm feeling internally instead of trying to make everyone else happy? What would happen if I started to give all of my energy back to me instead of pouring it out into all these different places to try and get this validation or like approval back? We cannot pour from an empty cup, through and through. You've probably heard that before. And when you're constantly pouring, trying to please other people, trying to be a certain way, trying to, act in the way that society says, like, this is how you're going to be successful, this is how you're going to be happy, like, do this, take this. It's just all like, it's just noise. So for me, what I've personally done to really connect back to myself, trust myself, follow my heart, and bring my energy back to me instead of, dumping my energy just all over the place willy-nilly, there's a few things. The first one is always for me connecting back to nature, because when we connect back to nature, we connect back to ourselves. We are part of the earth. And that for me has looked like just being outside in general, going for walks, going for hikes, seeing the sun before I look at my phone in the morning, like really being intentional about that. I also love to do grounding, which is just putting your feet in the earth. You can hug a tree, put your feet in the sand. If you have like grass outside your house, or just go to a park, like put your bare feet in the earth. It's so healing. And then we're also working with the earth's frequencies. And when you're vibrating on a certain frequency, whether that be lack, scarcity, you're scrolling on your phone, you're dwelling on the negative, like that is a low vibration. We're on a low frequency level. And then we attract the exact same frequency. We attract the sadness and the chaos and the things that we don't want to happen, but they do happen because we're like vibing on this super low level. Whereas if we start to raise our vibration, we start to operate on a higher frequency. Let's say we're up here and we're putting our feet in the grass, we're getting outside, we're focusing on all our gratitude, we're pouring our energy back into ourselves, we're excited about what the universe is going to bring into our lives today. Like, again, focusing on the present moment. Now we're vibrating at a higher frequency. So naturally, like, we are going to be calling in that same level of frequency, whether it's like synchronicities are going to start to happen. People are going to reach out to you. There's going to be opportunities come your way. There's been so many areas in my life when I am intentional about being on a higher frequency and wavelength, things come into your life. Things happen, you attract them because you're operating from the inside out. You're no longer putting yourself in the passenger seat and just, like basically giving away my power. You're putting yourself back into the driver's seat. Meditation has been paramount in my journey. I meditate every single night. I actually want to start meditating more, maybe like once in the morning, once in the evening. But for now, I'm like really solid with before bed. I love meditating before bed. And I will often choose a meditation that either gets me into my body, like really being present in the moment. And also, if anyone loves Joe Dispenza, I love his meditations. It's really about accessing the unified field, which is basically like the quantum field of nothing. You're no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. And being able to access that space is just, once again, helping you not only connect back to your consciousness of like, we are just conscious beings, we are just awareness, but it helps me at least to just see like how capable I am, how when you're in that field of the unknown, all possibilities exist. And that's where you can create from. I've talked about stepping into the unknown before, and this is like, a lot of this is where I learned it from is through Joe Dispenza. I love his work, highly recommend his book, Becoming Supernatural, but all of his meditations are like amazing. When you step into the unknown, when you fully let yourself be there, all possibilities exist. And that's the greatest place to create from, because now we're like, what's gonna come my way? And then we open ourselves up to the universe gifting us with everything that we desire. There also needs to be action steps, right? Like choosing to show up for yourself, imagining how would the self that I want to be, like the person that I want to become, like how would they think, act, and feel today, choosing to be that person today. That's another thing that really got me connected to myself and putting my energy back into myself, because when I'm operating on that level of who I want to become, I know that it's on a frequency and on a vibrational level of pouring into myself, of making sure my needs are taken care of making sure that what I'm doing is fully aligned. So those are 3 things that I really focus on. Lastly, I would just say being aware of gratitude in the present moment. Like that has been I would say actually like probably the number one thing that has really facilitated my own healing and growth and coming to this space of like feeling confident in myself and giving myself the energy that I really desire is right now. This present moment is all we have. All we have is right now. So how can I feel so grateful for all that I have? How can I really just embrace all the gifts that have already come my way? Because also when we're operating from that space of I'm so abundant, I am so good at receiving, the universe is always supporting me and providing for me, that's also when we're going to call in everything that we want. Because if we're operating from a place of like, I don't have this yet and I want this and like this sucks and I am lacking this, once again, we're on that low frequency of lack, scarcity, fear, unworthiness, all those things. So when we can really dive into, I'm so provided for, I'm so supported by the universe, just like this whole different energy that we're vibrating out into the field, and it's going to be reciprocated always. Like the universe has our back. Always, 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 always. If you haven't heard yet, I'm hosting a 3-day long free self-confidence challenge. We're going to be doing 3 live videos together. I'm going to be basically taking you through concepts just like I did today that have supported me and that have really helped the people in my life to build more self-confidence, gain more self-awareness, pour your energy back into yourself, and create your dream life, essentially. So the link is in the description to get more details on the challenge. I would love to see you inside of it. We start April 29th, and It's going to be so abundant and empowering. See you there.